Welcome back everyone to another video. This will be another artist catalog review, and in this video it will be Lil Uzi Vert. I'm going to keep this intro short and sweet. Let's go ahead and begin with his debut album, Love is Rage. Also, actually, I just remembered something really quick before we get into Love is Rage. I am going to be keep doing the 1 through 10 or 0 through 10 scale, but I'm going to be also putting them on a tier list to give a more visual aspect to these reviews. So I'll go ahead and throw up my Kanye West album review tier list. Now let me pull it up so I can see it as well. This is how I will have it ranked. S tier will be 9 through 10, A tier is 8 through 9, B is 6.5 through 8, C is 5 through 6.5, and then D is 3 through 5, 3 through 5, and F is 0 through 3, sure. So of course graduation is S tier. If you disagree, the lowest you should have it is A tier. But your opinion is your opinion. Then A tier is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and then his self-titled album, I guess, it's just called Yay. Then B tier, and these are in order, by the way, of how I would put them in each tier. So College Dropout, I think, is the best of B tier, and then 808s, Jesus is King, and Late Registration. Then C tier is Yeezus, Vultures, and Kids See Ghosts. D tier might be controversial, don't know, don't care, my opinion. Life of Pablo and Donda, and F tier is Watch the Throne, that he did with Jay-Z. So we'll be doing that for all the Lil Uzi Vert albums as well. And now with that set in stone, let's start reviewing with Love is Rage 1. I'm just gonna keep it shorter as well, keep the video shorter, just gonna name my favorite songs, my least favorite songs. So yeah, Love is Rage 1, Banned from TV, and Enemies, I do think are the weakest songs from this album. Just because the beats were really good, or they had a lot of potential, but there was not like really a beat drop. Like it kind of was a little repetitive, and that was a repeating factor throughout a lot of these songs, is that the beats had so much potential. Just there was just one thing missing from all of them that would have made this album as good as a debut as College Dropout. However, I do think there was 3 fairly good or very good songs on this album. I think Super Saiyan is decent. Right Now, I think, is pretty good, which is what you're hearing currently in the background. And Paradise, I thought, was a great finale to this album. I thought it was super strong. It was probably the best song from this album. Either that or Right Now. But I gave this a 5.5 out of 10 or a C tier, because I do think the album is a little bit better than average, because it's not terrible. Like, a lot of these songs are like average or decent, or like some of them maybe subpar, and it was just a lot of beats had a lot of potential. But a thing that I didn't like is that a lot of the vocals weren't very good on some of the songs, which if the vocals were decent and the beats were like still decent, it probably would have been maybe a 6.5. Could have sneaked its way into B tier. But I don't think the album is terrible. Definitely, in my opinion, not way better, but better than Life of Pablo and Donda. It's way more consistent, and it's just the song, like, there wasn't really a terrible song. So moving on to Lil Uzi Vert versus the World, which this will be a pretty short review, as I think all the songs on this album are bad or just like mediocre. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I'm like hearing Paradise. I forgot to change the song, because there's only one song I like from this album, and it's P's and Q's, which has like some French type beat. It's weird, but I like it. P's and Q's is really good. A lot of you maybe heard it before if you've listened to rap for a while. But the other really popular song from this album, Money Longer, which is the alien dancing meme. What was his name? Like Howard the Alien or something? I don't know. Something like that. I don't think the song's really good. It's overrated. It's annoying. It's not good. But yeah, P's and Q's is good. And then just a lot of the songs aren't good, which I originally gave it a 3 out of 10 and put it in D tier. I think I'm going to leave it there, because it's a short album. There's only, I think, There's 9 songs, so like it's a very small sample size. So it's like if you're going through the album, the trash doesn't last that long. But P's and Q's also carries it a lot that I don't think I can put in F. It's definitely D tier though. No more than D tier. If you like this album, I'm sorry, but I just don't think it's very good. Then after that is The Perfect Love Tape, which I do think of these 3 is the best so far. Not really saying much, but I do think it's my favorite songs from this were Sideline Watching, Erase Your Social, and 7 Million, which reminds me again I have to switch the song already. I'll play 7 Million because this one features Future, and I think this is also a very good finale to the song, which is now 2 albums where I think my favorite song from each of the 2 of Uzi's 3 albums, my favorite song from 2 of them is the last song of the album. So I don't know, I guess he's really good at closing albums. But Money Mitch, okay, yeah, this is something that's in some of his other songs as well, is that like his vocals, or just the song, I think the song as a whole was just quieter than normal. Like the gain of the music was just way lower than all the other songs, which didn't really make sense to me. The song itself wasn't like very good. It wasn't anything special. It just was like, I was listening to it, I was like, why is this so quiet? And then really the only bad song was I Can Drive. I think was the only it was like a really low point of this album. But I gave The Perfect Love Tape a 6 out of 10 or a C tier because it had 3 really good songs. Sideline Watching, Erase the Social, 7 Million, I thought were all good to very good. And then but then there was just some other songs that were like confusing, like Money Mitch, of course. And then I Can Drive was really the only bad song, but then everything else was kind of average or a little above average. So that's why it all averages out to a 6 out of 10 / a C tier. I said that this was a big improvement for Uzi, I think, because it was way better than Uzi vs. the World, and it's a slight improvement to Love is Rage, I think. It's more consistent. The beats were better. It was a little bit more experimental as well. Like some of the more beats like different. Like this beat is pretty wacky, but I like it. So I think he was more experimental. So it made the album more unique, and the beats themselves felt more complete. They were better. The vocals were also better on most of the songs. Just there wasn't anything that like took it to be like over the top. Now, this next album I managed to put all bias aside, and I'll get to my ranking of it, because Love is Rage 2, in my opinion, I was gonna say it's the best album ever, but it's not. It's my personal favorite album because there's a lot of songs on here that I really like. I'll go ahead and name them. For Real, Neon Guts, Pretty Miami, EXO Tour Life, and 20 Min are 5 of like my favorite songs like ever. And one that I put on the list I also think is very good is How to Talk. I think is also a really good song. Then he had another song or 2 on this that were the gain. It was just like quieter. Which, let me go ahead and play some songs from this album. I'll play 20 Min because 20 Min is my favorite song ever by Uzi. I'll go ahead and read that. Then we'll get back to everything else. I said 20 Min. I'll just read word for word what I typed. I said, this is one of the greatest songs ever made in my opinion, and it's probably my favorite song ever made. I love the beat, the vocals, the flow. The beat may be a little repetitive, like just a little bit, but like the beat itself is so good. Like what you're hearing right now, it's groovy. It's groovy and gets you in a good vibe. And if I had a top 5 list of favorite songs ever, this would easily be in the top 5, if not number 1. So yeah. And then all the like I said, For Real is also one of my favorite rap songs. The bass on that goes hard. The beat is simple but good, and the lyrics for me were easy to memorize. Like I never even like read the lyrics or anything. I just kind of listened to it quite a few times, and I was able to rap along with it. Then Neon Guts, the Pharrell feature I really like. Pretty Miami is one of his more chill songs. I think it's more like hype or groovy songs are better, but Pretty Miami is a chill song. And I think he did it pretty well in that. EXO Tour Life is probably his most popular song ever made, and I think that's deserved. It's pretty good. It's catchy. And then How to Talk is decent. Uh, it's got more bump to Pretty Miami, so it's like less chill, but it's still got a vibe to it. But anyways, yeah, he has a song just called X, like the letter X, where it's quieter than the rest. Like it went from How to Talk to X, and I was like, I didn't turn the volume down, so it was just kind of confusing. I don't know why it's like that. Then he has this one song called The Way Life Goes that has, it's like up there with one of his more popular songs because it has a lot of plays, which again, numbers don't matter, but I do like to talk about them slightly. I think it's super overrated. I don't know. I don't really like it. I think Pretty Miami is a better song, a better chill song than The Way Life Goes. But if you like it, it's your opinion. I do think it's alright, but it's overrated. And then I do think he has 3 bad songs on this album. The first song on the album, Two, the French, it's another French beat, a French type beat. I don't know. Could be racist right now. I don't know. I don't know. I thought it wasn't as good as P's and Q's. And then he had somewhere in the song, I don't know if I didn't look at the lyrics because the song wasn't good, but I had something about like minors in there. I don't know. It was weird. If you go listen to it yourself and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't really want to think about it. Then No Sleep Leak isn't very good. That's all I really wrote. I just didn't think it was very good. And there's a song called Skirt Skirt. The beat was goofy, and I would never play it on aux. It's just, I don't know, the beat was really weird to that song. But I'm noticing that the first 4 songs, he has 2, and then 444 plus 222, which adds up to 666. Not a good number if you ask me. Then No Sleep Leak and The Way Life Goes. I feel like this album starts kind of weak, but then as soon as it hits for real, it gets better, ignoring X and Skirt Skirt. So, like I said, going into this, I said that, I'll play for real now, because that was, the song I just went to is a Perfect Love Tape song. But, this is probably my favorite album of all time, personally, just because it has so many of my favorite songs. But I'm going to put my bias aside because I do like it more than Graduation, but Graduation overall is a far better album. Because Graduation didn't really have any duds. Like, the worst songs were Berry Bonds and Drunken Hot Girls, but even those songs, like, you can kind of groove to, and, like, they're not bad. This one definitely had, this album, there's more songs on it, so there's obviously more potential for it to be bad. And there is definitely some duds. So I can set my bias aside. I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. Maybe an 8.5. But it's going in A tier either way. And it's an incredible album. Like, it has so many good songs. If I would keep listening to 20 Men, For Real, and all the songs that I said were my favorites. And after this came Eternal Take, which originally was just like an 18-song album, but he made a deluxe version, which then added another 14 songs, I believe. So there's 32 songs in this album, which if I remember correctly is the same length as Donda. So we'll get there. But it's separated into disc. Disc 2 is the original Eternal Take. Disc 1 is the edition. Disc 1, I'll go ahead and say is far better. The deluxe, actually, to this album is way better than the original. But we'll get to Disc 2. Disc 1, my favorites from this are Myron. If I'm saying that wrong, I'm going to just say Myron. Then Bean and Yasirski, which those 3 songs are 3 of the first 4 songs. Which then I also highlighted one Lotus because it was also pretty good. So like the opening to this album was really good. The first 4 songs, and then immediately after those 4 is What's Up, and I thought that song was terrible. it wasn't good. But then after What's Up with Strawberry Peels, which has Gunna and I want to say Young Thug, beat on that song is fantastic. The lyrics and the vocals are kind of mid, but the beat is phenomenal. So already the first half of disc 1, or like about the first half, is incredible, ignoring What's Up. And that's kind of where it ends, because everything else is kind of decent. But the disc one doesn't really have anything bad. It's decent. Because towards the end of disc 1, Money Spread and Got the Guap are the pretty mid, because Money Spread has Pierre Bourne, the music producer, on it, and I thought the beat drop was kind of underwhelming for a Pierre Bourne song. And Got the Guap, I just said was mid. But then Leaders was a decent end to disc 1. So disc 1, I didn't give him separate grades, but disc 1 is definitely better than disc 2, because disc 2 only has... Okay, so I actually don't really have... Okay, so I know what it is. Disc 2, I kind of just wrote the bangers, and then there was one really bad song, because I said that this was like Uzi's Donda, that a lot of the songs kind of sound similar, but none of them are very good. But Low Mine, however you say it, Homecoming, which I just started playing now, and Secure the Bag, I thought were really good. Well, Low Mine was good, and then Homecoming and Secure the Bag were really good. And then I've said there was 2 terrible songs on this one. There was P2, which the opening sounded, the opening and the flow sounded exactly like EXO Tour Life. So I said it was like EXO Tour Life 2, but it was not even close to the same magic that he had in EXO Tour Life 1 or whatever. Because it was not good. And then That Way, which was the last song on disc 2, was terrible. I put it in parentheses, I skipped it, because it was so bad I didn't even want to bother listening to it anymore. So with that, disc 2 definitely brought the grade down, because I guess if I had to grade disc 1, I probably would have given it like a 7.5 or an 8. It would probably be top of B. It would be top of B tier, but just because disc 2 was so weak, I knocked it down to a 6.5 out of 10. Still B tier, and it might even still be top of B tier now that I think about it. But it's not on the verge of getting to A tier, or it's not even close, because disc 2 was so weak. Because like I said before, disc 1 was really strong, but disc 2 was really weak. And I mean, that's pretty much it. It was very bloated. There was 32 songs, and I wouldn't even say like half of them were good. Maybe like a quarter or a third of the songs were like good, and everything else was like decent, but like not anything I want to really listen to again. Then after this, he had, now if some of you are Uzi fans, you probably didn't even know that he had an entire collab album with Future, which when I first started listening to Uzi a couple years ago, I didn't even know about this until recently, and that's for good reason too, because a lot of these songs just are very like forgettable, or like mid, or kind of like, I'm looking at some of these names, I don't even remember listening to them, because it's just very forgettable in of itself. There's some bangers. I just said the bangers because everything else was pretty mid. Like Tic Tac, the opening song was really good, which you're hearing right now. Plastic, That's It, and Moment of Clarity are also pretty good. Plastic and That's It are good overall. Moment of Clarity, I think the beat carries more in this song. Then everything else is just kind of mid, or meh, or forgettable. Like, I don't even remember listening to them. So, I mean, I guess, for some of my notes, I said, like, Bust a Move, Baby Sasuke, I said those songs were bad. Rockstar Change, I said, was meh. Bankroll is bad. And I had a decent ending. Over Your Head has an alright ending to it, which I'm realizing now that when he first started, his endings were really good, and now they've actually, yeah, the ending to Love Is Rage was good. Then Uzi vs. the World we ignore. Perfect Love Tape had a good ending. Love is Rage 2 had a good ending. Then Eternal Take didn't have a good ending. And then, oh, I forgot, I didn't even say the name. It's Pluto X Baby Pluto. Whoever is the future, whichever one they are, I don't know. This ending wasn't very good either. I gave it a 4 out of 10. It was better than Uzi vs. the World. And I corrected myself in this explanation, or my analysis I gave here. What I called Eternal Take Uzi's Donda, this is Uzi's Donda, and I also said probably Future too, because we haven't listened to Future's catalog yet. We'll probably get to him at some point. He does have, I think, quite a few albums, so that would probably take a while. Maybe we'll put that one off to the side for a while, but get there. But there's so many just forgettable songs. Like, even more forgettable songs in this than there was Eternal Take. It had some bangers. Not even like some bangers. Like, some of them were good. But, like, nothing, like, incredibly good that was on Love is Rage 2. Or even Eternal Take. Like, Eternal Take had some really good songs. So, I gave it 4 out of 10 D tier. Better than Uzi vs. the World. But it will remain top of D tier. And now, Uzi's most recent album, and the last album I will be reviewing, is Pink Tape. Which, let's get some Pink Tape on. We'll start. I'll just play from the top because this one has a really good opening. Flood of the Face, I think, is a really good opening to this album. And I said, I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think Flood of the Face is the best opening to an Uzi album of all of his albums. Like, let me scroll back up really quick through my notes. I mean, Tic Tac was also an opening to his last album, but Flood of the Face is better than Tic Tac. My Own in Eternal Take was good, but not as good. Yeah, I would, in my opinion, Flood of the Face is the best opening to an Uzi album. Then, his other really good songs, he has a song called A, with Travis Scott, that I think is fire. X2 is really good. Then, Just Wanna Rock is really good. And then there's another song that is pretty interesting. It's an EDM song with a question mark. It's called The End. That is someone called, I think, Baby Metal. Let me check. Yeah, Baby Metal. It's interesting. I recommend listening to it. But those are probably the good songs from this album. The bad songs, I said, were Endless Fashion and Mama I'm Sorry. Endless Fashion, because, well, one, this isn't a reason, but it had Nicki Minaj feature. I'm not a fan of Nicki Minaj. She has some good like EDM stuff that came out early 2010s that I like. But her new music is not. I don't think it's good. And it had like this background track was like a Blue Dabba Dee Dabba Die like sample, and the flow that Uzi has also has the same flow as Blue with Christina Aguilera and I want to say David Guetta. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's not good. And then Mama I'm Sorry, I said it was hella boring. I don't know if that's a good descriptor for a song, because obviously it was supposed to be a slower song, but it's not like a slower song that I vibe to like Pretty Miami was, and Love is Rage 2. Mama I'm Sorry just wasn't good in my opinion. And I also highlighted All Alone as being incredibly mid, but I didn't put it on my comment. But yeah, that would be another one. Then there's a 2-song streak, and the songs are called CS and Werewolf, where he did rock songs. CS is a cover of a song. I don't know what the song's called, but it's not a good metal song. I don't know. I don't remember who made it either, but listen to it. You'll recognize it if you've heard the original before. And then Werewolf was another rock song, and I thought that the guitar for Werewolf went incredibly hard. Whoever did guitar, whether it was electronic or someone actually played the guitar, I thought it was really good. But why is Lil Uzi Vert doing a rock song? It just didn't make sense to me, and I didn't think it was very good with his vocals. So my review for Pink Tape, I gave it a 6 out of 10, or I put it in C tier, because it's the same. I don't think it, like, Eternal Take was like a lot of mid. Like, nothing was egregiously bad. Like, okay, there's a couple pretty bad songs, but Pink Tape had some bad songs. Like the Uzi rock songs, like the guitar or whatever. He's like, whoever did the guitar did a good job, but just Uzi's voice on a rock song is just not good. And then I feel like this just had more just not good songs. So I gave it a slightly lower score than Eternal Take. I think Eternal Take is slightly better, as I put Eternal Take B tier, Pink Tape is C tier, but I do think it's better than the Perfect Love Tape. I would put Pink Tape top of C tier. I'll go ahead and read what I wrote. From Flood of the Face, which is the opener, and Just Wanna Rock, which is about a little past halfway of the album, I was thinking of giving this album an 8 out of 10. Like, I thought this was almost better than Love Is Rage 2. But then as soon as Just Wanna Rock ended, went from Fire Alarm to Sade, which, forgot to mention, there's 3 bonus tracks, because there's The End, but then there's 3 bonus tracks after The End, called Zoom, of course, and Sade. So he didn't need to add those on. Those did not need to be bonus. None of them were good. Honestly, probably bad. And I could have put them under bad. I just didn't. But, yeah, if this was a 12-song album, like if he took Flooded the Face through Just Wanna Rock, and then removed a couple in between and made it like 12 songs, probably would have been better than Love Is Rage 2, honestly. Because it would have been way more consistent. And there wouldn't really have been a miss. But, it's still decent. It's a 6 out of 10 or C tier. Oh, and I also, another thing I said is that it was interesting how there were rock songs, EDM songs, vibey songs, and just rap songs, or I don't know, hype songs like you're hearing now. I feel like he was just kind of making music and putting it on the album. Like he didn't really have an idea for what he wanted to do, but I don't know. But yeah, this was a shorter review. I'm looking at the time, it's 27 minutes, which is kind of crazy, but a shorter review than Kanye West's album review, because way less albums, but still a lot of songs. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, and if you agree with any of my opinions, leave a comment below, leave your opinion, argue, debate, whatever, do whatever, just no threats, please. With that, I'll see you in the next video, whether it's gaming, stop motion, another music review. I don't know. It's kind of making videos these days. Anyways, if you're also still here, subscribe and leave a like. See ya.